Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another Storytime Yoga video. Today's story is all about fall and some of the things you might see in fall, especially during this month of October. We are going to read Hello Fall by Deborah Diesen. Do you remember when we met that woolly bear making its way across the sidewalk? We stopped to say hello. We touched its gentle prickles and laughed when it curled into a ball. We watched it uncurl and move on tiny feet through the sunshine and the shadows. Squirrels were everywhere, digging holes and hiding acorns. We wondered, would they remember all those spots later? Around us, we heard the whisper of trees. Red leaves talking to yellow leaves, talking to orange leaves, talking to purple leaves. We listened closely, and then we whispered to each other everything the trees had told us. We sat on a big rock and crunched crispy apples and drank sweet apple cider. A flock of geese flew overhead, and we waved up at them. They honked hello. So we pretended to be geese and honked back very noisily. We touched our fingertips to the tiny petals of golden chrysanthemum blooms. We wondered if the mums were ticklish. We sure heard someone laughing. Over in the pumpkin patch, we told a patient pumpkin all about our big plans. We found another pumpkin who was a good listener too. We picked them both and loaded them carefully. We took turns pulling the wagon home. We liked it best when we pulled together. Back home, we both had the same excellent idea about the leaf pile. Hello, Fall, we said as we ran toward it. And Fall replied, jump in. Later on, we counted on our fingers all the bits of fall we'd said hello to. There were so many that we ran out of fingers and we had to count on our toes. When we did, we heard that wonderful laughter again. Together, we savored the tender treasures we'd found when we greeted fall. Beauty, bounty, and wonder. And love. The end. Are you ready for our yoga? Okay, let's go. Do you remember some of the things we saw in our story? I remember trees and leaves and pumpkins and geese. What else can you remember? Well, let's get started and pretend that we are some of the things that were seen in our story. So we're going to start with the woolly bear. Do you remember the woolly bear? We're going to come on down to our mat or the floor. We are going to lay down on our backs and we're going to take a big stretch. Stretch out as far as you can. Take a deep breath. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And we're going to curl into a ball, just like that woolly bear did. So hug your knees right in as tight as you can. If you want, you can even curl your head up so you're in a tight ball. And let's stretch out again, okay? Big breath in. Out. Another big breath in and out as you curl back up into a ball. Let's do that 2 more times. Ready? One more. Nice job. I think the next thing we saw were all of those squirrels gathering acorns. Do you remember that? So we're actually going to be the acorns. Kind of went ever seen an acorn when it drops from the tree? It makes a really loud thunk and then it kind of rolls away, doesn't it? So we're gonna roll like an acorn. So bend your knees in front of you and hold onto your legs. You can either hold onto each leg or you can kind of wrap your arms around and hold onto your wrists. And let's just start by balancing. So lift your feet up and we're balancing on our sit bones in our bottom. And we're just gonna roll back and forth. Are you ready? Here we go. And back up. Keep going. I think those squirrels found lots of acorns. You can also hold underneath your knees if that helps. 2 more. 1, 2. Now we've got to bury all those acorns, don't we? Do you remember the squirrels did that? Do you think that they can find where they dug all those holes? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to stand kind of at an angle so you can see. Spread your feet wide apart. We're going to take a big breath up. And we're going to dig a big hole as you breathe out. And back up. And up again. Keep digging. We got lots of acorns. Almost done. Good job digging those holes for those acorns. Let's see. There were lots of trees, weren't there? Trees, and they were whispering to each other. So we're going to start with our tree pose. So feet together, legs together. Reach your arms up high as you take a big breath in. And we're just going to stand here for a minute. Imagine that you've got tree roots reaching deep down into the ground and you feel strong and steady. If you want to spread your branches out, you can. If you want to try balancing, remember we did this in another video? You can keep your foot down like this. Or if you feel like you've got good balance, you can bring it up to your knee. Nice job. Let's try it on the other side. So you are standing tall and strong and steady like a tree. Nice job. And do you remember all those leaves that were whispering to each other? So we're going to be leaves. So we're going to spread our feet and stretch our arms out. You can kind of wiggle your fingers a little bit. And we're going to be like those leaves fluttering on the trees. So we're just going to go back and forth from one foot to the other. And you can keep wiggling your fingers if you want. Our leaves are fluttering on the branches. Good job. Let's see, what do we have next? Geese. Do you remember those geese that flew overhead? They were flying south. So keep your legs spread apart, arms back out to your side. What we're gonna do is bend one knee at a time, and we're gonna kind of bend over. So I'm gonna turn sideways just for a moment so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And we've got to flap our wings like those geese. Are you ready? So we're gonna bend over and flap your wings. And to the other side. Flap those wings. We have a long way to go. We need big, strong strokes so we can fly south for the winter. Keep going. Keep going. We've got a ways to go. Do you feel like honking like a goose? Have you ever heard one? They're kind of loud. I'm not going to honk like a goose. Here we go. 2 more. 1, 2. Good job. And I remember that the little girl and her grandpa were eating nice crisp apples. Do you remember that? So to be an apple, we're going to come down to our bellies. Okay. You're going to bend your knees and bring your feet as close to your bottom as you can. And we're going to reach back and grab our feet. And if you want, you can just stay here, or you can try to lift your legs off the ground and your chest up high. And that's our apple pose. You are apples right now. Remember, you can just leave your legs down if you want. Try to get your chest up though. Good job. That's a tricky one. But I know if you keep practicing, you can get it. So let's see. There were flowers, weren't there? There were lots of chrysanthemums. So we're going to start as flowers. Some flowers close up when the sun goes down for the day, or if it's cloudy, doesn't it? So we're going to start as closed up flowers, and we're going to open up to the sunshine. So what we're going to do is bring your hands behind your head and your elbows open out to the side, and we're just going to close down. Bend as far down as you can. Can you touch your elbows to the ground? And then we're going to slowly open up to the sun. Tilt your head back a little bit so the sun can shine on your face. Lift your chest up until you're nice and wide open across your chest. And let's close up again for the night. And open back up. Nice. And let's close up one more time. As you breathe out, bend forward. Let's take a big breath in as we open up again. Nice job. Let's see. There were also pumpkins, right? I think they loaded some in their wagon. I've got my wagon and my pumpkin here. Let's see. So this one, again, is a little bit tricky. So I want you to take it slow, and I want you to just do the best you can, okay? So what we're gonna do is come over to our knees. And we're gonna come up on our knees a little bit. We're gonna just very lightly touch our forehead to the mat. I don't want you putting pressure on it. So it's almost like you're just gonna be holding it there, okay? So very lightly. Bring your forehead down to your mat. And we are gonna raise our arms and clasp our hands. And we're gonna roll very gently to the top of our head. So we are big round pumpkins with our stems sticking up. How'd you do with that one? Did it feel okay on your head? You shouldn't ever hurt your neck doing this. So if it does hurt your neck, we don't want that to happen, you can kind of just stay bent over and bring your chin to your chest and raise your arms up, okay? So if it hurts your head or your neck at all, that's how you can do it. So you want to give it one more try? Be a big fat pumpkin with our tall stems. There we go. So very gently touch your forehead to your mat. Raise up your arms as you kind of curl your chin to your chest and roll to the top of your head. Or just bend forward. Nice! You guys are great pumpkins. I remember near the end of the story they jumped into a big leaf pile, didn't they? Are you ready to jump into a big leaf pile? We're going to do some big jumps. I want to see how high you can jump, and we're going to kind of land down in our squat, okay? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, jump! I think we need to do some more jumping in the leaf pile. Here we go. One more. Nice. I love jumping in leaf piles. Do you? Let's see. I think we're at the end of our story. And I remember that they wanted to count all of the things that they saw that day. And they counted on all their fingers, didn't they? So bring your arms straight out in front of you with your fingers spread apart as wide as you can. Okay? And let's see if you can count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they ran out of fingers, so they had to count on their toes, didn't they? So we're gonna lean forward. You are gonna touch your toes if you can. And can you count on your toes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a lot of wonderful things that we saw. Come on and sit crisscross and face me. And we are going to end our storytime yoga by giving ourselves a great big hugs. I love a nice big hug, don't you? I'm going to try crossing my arms the other way. And let's take a couple of deep breaths. Thank you for joining me, and happy fall.